Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present our research. So our topic is, does mask wearing prevent respiratory viral transmission? As we know, COVID-19 has become a global pandemic since early this year. To prevent its spreading, wearing masks were recommended. However, whether it is protective or not was under debate at the beginning of the pandemic, and even now, there are still some doubts and questions going on. So previous evidence before the current pandemic were conflicting. Some of the meta-analysis says there's no significant protective effect, and some others says there's reduced the risk and it is statistically significant. So in March, we actually did a meta-analysis on this topic and has been published in Travel Medicine Infectious Disease. From the results, we found that there was a reduced risk. However, at that time, there was only one original study available for COVID-19. And since then, more evidence regarding the COVID-19 has been published. So we performed this updated meta-analysis based on the latest available evidence. So we did the study based on the PRISMA statement, and we retrieve articles from multiple different databases. So here, one thing we need to note here is that for the diagnostic criteria that we use include both laboratory evidence and local clinical diagnostic criteria during outbreak when lab evidence not available. The reason why we choose these is, according to previous study on SARS, 92% of patients with clinical SARS for whom Paracero were available had more than 4-fold rise in antibody titer to the virus. So that's why we choose clinical diagnostic criteria too. Then for the analysis, we did several subgroup analyses, including healthcare workers versus non-healthcare workers, different geographic locations, and different types of virus. And last, we detect the publication bias by Beck's and Eagles test. All the analyses were performed by Revman and Stater. So for the results, we initially searched and found more than 5,000 records from different databases and other sources. After remove the duplicate records and after exclude those articles that are not relevant or the articles that did not provide data that we need, eventually we include 26 studies. And for these 26 studies, we did analysis for the qualities, and most of them were in moderate to high qualities. Then we did the analysis and found that overall, wearing masks reduced the risk by 63%, and it is statistically significant. Here is the forest plot of the overall analysis. Now for the subgroup analysis, first, the healthcare workers and non-healthcare workers, it both reduce the risk and it's statistically significant. And for the non-healthcare workers, no matter it's non-household settings or household settings, wearing mask reduce the risk and it is statistically significant. Now for the geographic locations, the reason why we wanted to do this subgroup analysis was that in the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, authorities and governments in several Asian countries and areas quickly adopted policy of universal mask wearing. By that time, in Western countries, governments and health departments, including CDC in the US, were reluctant to recommend everyone to wear masks due to lack of convincing evidence at that time and variable reasons. So from our result, we found that no matter it's Asian countries or Western countries, it reduces the risk and it's statistically significant. Then for the different virus types, for flu and SARS, it reduced the risk, and for COVID-19, it reduced the risk by 62%, and all of them are statistically significant. For the publication bias, we can see here we did this final plot, and we also used the Beck and Eagles test to detect the publication bias, and there was no publication bias. So in summary, wearing masks protects both healthcare workers and non-healthcare workers, at both household and non-household settings for the non-healthcare workers, and they reduce the risk of flu, SARS, and especially the COVID-19. Thank you.